All good things must come to an end, but the Rock Lobsters will hope that every ending is just the start of something greater. Will that new start begin tonight, or will the Bobcats tighten their grip and hand the Rock Lobsters a rare back-to-back defeat? Good evening, Crustacean Nation. We welcome you to Hitachi Energy Arena in Wytheville, Virginia, where the Blue Ridge Bobcats take on your Athens Rock Lobsters. Matt T and Rad bringing you all the action live here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Make sure to like the stream, hit the subscribe button to join in our tremendous chat, and ring the bell to stay notified of all future streams, highlights, and interviews. Tonight's show begins with the Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show. Let's rewind all the way to Wednesday night when Athens delivered their most decisive blow against Columbus yet, a 6-1 victory. The power play was cooking and a win streak extended to 10 games, but the outlook for the Rock Lobsters has gone from celebratory to analytic as they try to bounce back from a 3-0 loss against the Blue Ridge Bobcats last night. It marked the first time that the Rock Lobsters had been shut out this season, and it saw the snapping of the longest win streak in their short history of their franchise. But an important lesson, every team has an off night. It's all about how you bounce back. Head coach Steve Martinson declarative to me in our Coach's Corner that will air in the first intermission, we will not lose 2 games. That just might be the story of the night, but the story of last night was Gregory Hussey. He starts out our Fan Saves Impact Players segment, a goalie who hadn't played in nearly 4 months, making his return and stealing the show. Hockey is a sport built on momentum, and sometimes a team rallies around their netminder in ways that stats cannot explain. Is that what happened last night? It sure felt like it. 36 saves and a shutout for Milan, rather for Hussey, because our Fan Saves Impact player for the Rock Lobsters is Garrett Milan. When your offense gets stifled one night, you look to your offensive leader the next night. Milan is that player, and if the Bobcat defense can be as much of a roadblock as they were last night, the Rock Lobsters might need the powers of Super Milan to save the day. Our Impact Player segment is brought to you by Fan Saves. Be sure to download the Fan Saves app now and follow the Athens Rock Lobsters to check out the team's digital coupon book. Now we look at the starting 5 for Steve Martinson in our Aikens Ford engine starters. Starting in the net tonight will be William Lavalieri. The D-corps in front of him will be Kyle Russell and Michael Greco. And then the second line for the Rock Lobsters getting the start tonight in Malik Johnson, Philip Virgili, and Kaysen Gallant. The team physician as provided by Piedmont Athens Regional is Dr. Alec Graff. That does it for our starting lineup. Our starting lineup is brought to you by Aikens Ford. If you're going to make a new deal on a Ford truck, why not deal with the biggest and best Ford dealership in the Peach State? That does it for our pregame show, the Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show. Piedmont, real change lives here. Coming up after this, we've got starters that'll be announced here in the arena. And then we've got hockey coming up after the national anthem. Stay tuned with us here. We're going to go to a commercial break. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
This thing on? Yeah, perfect.
opened in 1968. We've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now. Almost ready for hockey here in Wytheville, Virginia, in the Hitachi Energy Arena. Starting lineup for the Blue Ridge Bobcats getting announced. And back in between the pipes is Gregory Hussey, who won his third win of his season. Had a 4-game stint with the Bobcats earlier this season. His first game in nearly 4 months. And what a game it was, a 36-save shutout for the Medford, Massachusetts native. Meanwhile, the Rock Lobsters prepare to put out their second line against the starters against the Bobcats, and William Lavalieri back in between the pipes for head coach Steve Martinson. Had 36 saves on 40 shots in his last game. That was Sunday versus the Dashers Hockey Club. That was his third straight win in 3 games as a Rock Lobster. He's going to try and make it 4 against the Bobcats tonight. Real quick, we can look at the standings, which haven't moved all that much after the games last night. Carolina Thunderbirds were able to lengthen the gap between them and the Rock Lobsters a little bit. Now the Rock Lobster starting lineup getting announced over the PA here. William Lavalieri in net, Kyle Russell and Michael Greco, the D pair. Kason Gallant, Malik Johnson, and Philip Virgili, the line. Now we turn to the national anthem that's going to be sung here. Marcia Turpin getting the opportunity to sing the Stars and Stripes. I have a feeling that my script was not correct because that feels like a recording of Chris Stapleton and not a woman named Marsha Turpin. But it was a beautiful rendition of the national anthem, to say the least. And we've also got a ceremonial puck drop. It is Stand Up to Cancer night here in Hitachi Energy Arena, and we're very, very pleased to see a young survivor of cancer, Nicholas, drop the ceremonial puck tonight. Attaboy Nicholas, as we see the two captains for the two squads, Daniel Martin for the Bobcats and Carter Shinkarik for the Rock Lobsters. It was a very, very physical game last night here at Hitachi Energy Arena, but the Rock Lobsters were not really willing to partake in any fights last night, and that was a smart move because they were behind after the first couple minutes of the second period. We'll see if they can get an early goal and might be more willing to oblige in a raucous game here with a raucous crowd here on Saturday night. The official standing right over the Bobcats logo at center ice. We're ready to get started here. Virgili lining up against Klinecki. You see the special purple jerseys tonight for the Bobcats. As they have their Stand Up to Cancer night, we had our special night tonight. That one rocks off the back of the cage of Lavalieri. Puck out of the corner, move to the line. Here come the Rock Lobsters the other way. Sent long by Kyle Russell. No icing. Having to cover that one up was Hussey. Gallant was rushing towards the net, and if Hussey hadn't covered it up, it might have been an easy goal for the Red Deer Rocket. He was already showing some fire in the early seconds of this game. But the Rock Lobsters having an offensive zone draw will switch lines here and switch a whole unit, in fact. Milan, Glukarioff, and Weisblatt, along with Robertson and Shinkarik, trying to make something happen here in the opening minute of the game. Watch out for Garrett Milan. He scored first in 5 different games this season. Radchenko off of the Blue Ridge face-off win, showing some speed. Shinkarik, icing called here, even though it looked like the Blue Ridge Bobcats had a potential of getting there first. I'm going to have to try and commit that to memory. Damon Furiseth, who's listed on the roster as number 97, is wearing number 17 tonight. Blue Ridge doing well again on the faceoffs, but the Rock Lobsters have the puck back. Milan back to Shinkarik. Glukarioff with a good check. Leaves things open for Shinkarik, but Shinkarik with a turnover of a pass right at center ice. Radchenko up the right side, helped on by Furseth. Lavalieri out of his crease, plays a pass to Weisblatt. Shinkarik's no-look pass doesn't go to plan, but Riley Robertson's there to try and sweep things up. Daly with a good move on the puck, working his way back to the line. Round the end boards. Filip Hlavak to the line for Daly. Sent back towards Andrioli. At the line is Ernst. Shot from Hlavak, deflected into the far corner. Danil Glukaryov able to take it around Ernst, but he loses sight of the puck. And able to send things the other way is Martin. Pass easily grabbed by Greco. Gallant with a one-timer to Virgili. Virgili hard to the net. But with the defending there of the Bobcats, they weren't really able to get that shot off, was Virgili. Poke check for Gallant. Hlavak surrounded by Rock Lobsters. Michael Greco makes a step up onto the left flank. Virgili sweeps it back to Gallant. Russell lets it bounce, sends it back around. Brave pass there from Hlavak, but it does find Belfed. Here's Ernst out of the far corner. Big hit, and Johnson actually took the brunt force of it. Then Hlavak lays one on Gallant. Alden takes a spill trying to find Gallant, and eventually the Bobcats get it out of their zone. Good tape-to-tape pass there. Finds Hunter Hall on the far side, but he takes an early step, and the Bobcats called for an offside. Here's this third line tonight of Picard, Alden, and Reller. First time that we've seen them as a collective. We saw Alden a little bit earlier. Hussey makes a decision to let that bounce off the end boards. He's lucky that his decor didn't make him pay for that. McHugh. Little 2-on-1 developing here for the Bobcats. Is a little bit of here we go again. No, swallowing that shot up was Lavalieri, wanting to make sure that Damon Furseth, who made his pro debut last night, does not score in 2 consecutive games. Stands out in front of me here are really starting to pack up. And the Bobcats have a face-off to the right of Lavalieri, who gets a blocker on that shot from Nicholas McHugh. Picard with his back to the center of the ice, trying to backhand it over the line, but the Bobcats have dug it deeper. And then the shot comes high for McHugh. Bobcats still in the zone here, showing that fluidity of passing that they showed in droves yesterday. Slagers into the corner. Alden with a reverse hit opens things up for Kolatarsi, who finds his D partner, Matt Garcia. Garcia gets stapled to the boards. The Bobcats working through Daniel Martin. Gets the puck taken away from him by Glukaryov. Glukaryov trying to fight off 2 Bobcats now, and then pokes it away from Daly. Glukaryov over the line, finds Milan, was looking for the tip from the Russian right in front of Hussey's crease. Glukaryov, one-time shove towards Milan, gets cut out. That one takes a piece of the official. The official playing a part there, and Stuckless with a deflection gets saved out by Lavalieri. Radchenko. Glukaryov playing some great defensive hockey as a forward in the first 5 minutes of this one. Lavalieri to Shinkarik off the skate of Robertson. Didn't know what the play was there. Belfay got there before Shinkarik, but Riley Robertson able to start sending the Rock Lobsters from right to left. Dump in by Weisblatt. He'll chase it himself. First 5 minutes gone, and it feels like Lavalieri has been the busier goaltender. It's the way that the game last night started as well. However, that was Josh Rosenzweig in net. Casey Glant fresh onto the ice, tries to make a stop there. A long-range shot right into the glove of the French-Canadian William Lavalieri, a native of Montreal, Quebec. Lavalieri on his third team of the season. We're going to go to a commercial break here. He's been even to everything thus far, but more shots in the early going for the Bobcats.
This thing on? Perfect.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is back in play here. A shot right out of the faceoff from Klinecki. Lavalieri let the rebound come, but Blue Ridge unable to bury. Klinecki with a great pass finds Sanders on a route towards Lavalieri's net. Deflects high. Good stop at the line from Sanders, but the Rock Lobsters still unable to get it out. Nicholas McHugh with a shot. Misses wide right. Johnson kind of boxes out Klinecki there like a basketball player. Rock Lobsters able to get it out. Right now the shot on goal tally 5-1 in favor of the hometown team. Lavalieri saw that one late, lets it bounce, sweeps it around. Johnson let it run for Virgili. The Swede never made it. Higher amount of zone entries for the Bobcats in this one as well. They have treated Hitachi Energy Arena to a home ice advantage. David C. asks, is Hussey in the net tonight? Yes, he is indeed for the Bobcats. But only one save for him to make thus far. Deflected all around, falls for Hall. His shot gets blocked. Try the tight angle shot, takes a piece of Belfay. Kolatarsi, his pass evades Ronan. Stopped at the line once again, saved with a toe of Lavalieri. And an icing against the Rock Lobsters, and really the touch of the puck has been rare for the visitors so far tonight. Through the first 7 minutes and 5 seconds, still just one shot on Hussey's net. Alden taking the draw. Kolatarsi whistles it around the boards. Ronan didn't touch it, and that'll be another icing. Quick chance for us to thank some sponsors. Athens Area Urology. You're in good hands with Athens Area Urology. Plumber Pro, Hospitality South, Athens Coca-Cola Bottling Company, and Classic City Flats. Scrap over the dot. Rock Lobsters opt to push it out. Incisive pass through the center of the ice. Belfay, right circle shot, pad save Lavalieri. Reller chops at it, takes a piece of Belfay's skate. Garcia sends it up the right side. Getting there first is Hunter Hall. Belfay gets it pushed out. Reller trying to push through all of the calamity. Gets to the puck first, sends a shot, and it's off the bar of Hussey's net. Ironwork struck there by Reller. And no doubt the best opportunity for the Rock Lobsters in this one. And icing this time committed by the Bobcats. And all the players who just came off for the change are going to have to come back on. I'll tell you what, they got a cool rink and a cold rink here. It's not quite as cold as Columbus, I'll tell you that much, but still wish I had gloves sitting here. Shinkarik at the line. Sends a bouncer into the slot. Good reach with a stick there from Glukaryov. Shot from the right circle. Takes a tumble to the left of Hussey, who himself took a tumble in the crease. Shinkarik plays it with a skate. Risky pass from Milan as he had McHugh on him. Glukaryov tries to bank it to himself. Ends up sending the Bobcats the other way. Klinecki back to net. McHugh. Good work on the poke check there from Milan, who came back on the back check. McHugh whiffs on the shot, and Shinkarik takes the puck away. Rock Lobsters, with the amount of pressure that they've faced in their own defensive zone, are having to send the puck long quite a bit in the opening 9 minutes. Bobcat dump in. Sanders with a check on Carter Shinkarik. But he was able to kind of surround that puck and send it in the right direction. Radchenko whistles it around. Kyle Russell cuts all that out. Radchenko with a dump back in. This time Lavalieri stops it. Greco floats one out of play. Deflection, say the officials, but the Bobcats wanted to call for delay of game. No penalties yet in this one. Still just 9.5 minutes gone of this first period. Shots on goal in favor of the Bobcats, 7-3. Chance for us to thank some more sponsors: Harmon Enterprises, Roto Rooter, Aero Exterminators, and Northeast Distributing Company. Virgili with the face-off win. But the passing is just not coming along for the Rock Lobsters over this 2-game set. Michael Greco with a good poke check on Daniel Martin. He's no doubt where the danger can come from for this Bobcat team. A whiff on a pass there from Ernst. Hlavak. Gallant hot on his tail. Gallant. Great push out there on Justin Daly. And somehow it still pops open for the Bobcats. Little backhand lift there from Andrioli and a glove save from Lavalieri. We go to a commercial break here, still looking for the game's first tally. Will it go to the Rock Lobsters or will it go to the Bobcats? It feels like a crucial point of this game already. Let's see who can open up this scoreline after this commercial break.
Since 1968, we've been your trusted source for home comfort. From then to now, we've evolved, but our commitment to your comfort remains unchanged. Experience the expertise that only decades of dedicated service can provide. Trust Stanfield. We've been keeping homes comfortable for over 50 years. Your comfort, our legacy. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment. ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Sometimes a sad story can have a happy ending. We all heard that story about the Dashers sending 8 available players. Actually, it was 7 players and their head coach down to the top team in the Continental Division, the Carolina Thunderbirds. They took an 11-0 loss last night with a team that was kind of pieced together. But with that being said, some of the Carolina fans are teaming up to try and get some money together for the guys who paid their way to go down to Winston-Salem. I think that's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I wish it wasn't necessary, but what a beautiful move there, and a classy one from the Carolina Thunderbird fans. Rock Lobster with a face-off win. Right now, Brandon Reller has seemed the most tenacious lobster on the ice thus far. Colatarsi out of the corner. Picard, banker towards Reller, reaching up and getting that one out of midair was Belfay, sending Hunter Hall on his way. Garcia trying to poke it out of the carom of Belfay. Colatarsi with a check there on Hall, who lost his helmet. Here comes Reller on the break once again. Goes forehand, backhand, but can't beat Hussey. Pops over the head of Reller. And then the stick gets swatted away from Reller. He wants a penalty called. Alden. Better here from the Lobsters. Lukaryov gets impeded by Klinecki. 2-on-1 developing. Milan fresh onto the ice to try and help out defensively. Centering pass. Open net there, but nothing that Furseth could have done about it. Milan. Baker off the near side boards for Riley Robertson. Breezes through the first Bobcat. Puck falls to Shinkarik. Speeding off the right side. Off the pads of Hussey. Drips back for Robertson. Lukaryov. Hot over the line. Good stick handling, but gets taken down. Puck loose out in front for Milan. But Hussey's incredible return to the Bobcats remains here. Shinkarik off the glass in the near side corner. Poked ahead here for Devin Sanders. Sanders showing the speed, going to the net. Saved there by Lavalieri. But Sanders has the puck poked right back to him. Around the world, and a shot that's hopeful from Norwinski is once again saved by Lavalieri. Bobcats trying to test the Rock Lobster goaltender here. Dumped in by Milan, and a tired unit will change. Radchenko. Andrioli drops it from the center of the ice to Hlavak. Shot gets deflected into the corner by the stick of Greco, who then lays the hit on Andrioli. Virgili chopped down to his knees. Good pass from the slot from Martin. The extra pass was trying to set up Andrioli, but another save from Lavalieri. Already 12 saves in the first period, and we're going to have the game's first power play. Malik Johnson gets impeded illegally, but nothing intentional there from Matthew Ernst, who sends the Rock Lobsters to its first power play of the night. We're unable to net on the power play yesterday. Obviously, we're unable to net at all, but the Rock Lobsters would love to strike first in this game. In that 6-1 victory Wednesday against the River Dragons, they were able to net 2 power play goals. Keep an eye on this man, the Red Deer Rocket, Kaysen Gallant. Shinkarik fakes the slapper, passes to Milan, then loads up on it, catches Hussey up high, who makes the save. Gregory Hussey's last game before last night came on November 1st. A 35-save performance in Winston-Salem against the Thunderbirds. Milan with another face-off win on the man advantage. Here he is on the puck. Virgili taking the office behind the net. Shinkarik loads up the chopper once again. Milan down to a knee on the rebound shot. Virgili twists around and he pokes it through the 5-hole of Hussey. Power play goal for the Rock Lobsters, and how sweet it is that it's the Swede, Philip Virgili, who gets the Rock Lobsters on the board the first time here in Wytheville. Just a tremendous move from Virgili, who behind the net had his back to the cage and then pirouettes toward the crease and pokes it 5-hole on Hussey. There's that Rock Lobster team we know and love. Felt like the hard work was going to be done in trying to beat Hussey. But now that you've shown that you can beat him, it's trying to go and get more now and make this an easier game on yourself for the remaining 46 minutes now. Centering pass from Garcia, who's high up from his D-man position. Good hit there from Alden, but it spills onto the stick of Slagers. Heavy touch there on it from Stuckless. 3 Bobcats back. Alden making life miserable for them. Klinecki turns around and finds Andrioli, sends it in. Brendan Ronan back playing defense. Garcia with a dump in and then a push on Andrioli. No offside, say the officials there. Picard tried to drag that one in and Gallant was already in the zone. Here comes Gallant again with speed over the line. No look pass to Virgili. Returns the favor, does the Swede. Greco kicks that one out of midair back into the near corner. This puck's going to be easier for Andrioli to deal with, though. Russell's effort goes between the skates of Virgili. Shot gets blocked out by Greco on Radchenko. Pushing and shoving on this near wall. Russell on Hall. Pops out of nowhere for Russell. Can't get it out. Daly takes it away. Left circle shot. High from Norwinski. Bobcats gathering it back from their own zone. Virgili from Milan and Kaysen Gallant. Thought we might have saw a equalizer there from the Bobcats. 2 efforts that don't make their way past Lavalieri. Let's see what happens this time, though. Lavalieri caught in the midsection by a shot from Radchenko. We go to another commercial break here. The Rock Lobsters have the lead. Philip Virgili making things taste sweet here in the early going. We'll be back after this commercial break. Rock Lobsters lead 1-0.
Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
This thing on? Perfect.
Rock Lobsters able to beat Hussey for the first time this weekend. At the 13:45 mark, Virgili opens up the scoring, his 18th of the year. Just recently scored his 100th professional goal on Wednesday. A great time to score 101. Around the end boards, picked up by Shinkarik. Captain sends it off the glass, drops down for Matthew Ernst, but Picard follows up the effort. Milan shifted towards Picard. Back at the line is Shinkarik. Shinkarik pokes it towards Milan. Centering pass, and that one's all the way in! Milan with a centering pass towards the crease, and it goes off the inner quad of Gregory Hussey and in the net. Gregory Hussey having some problems squeezing those legs together. Garrett Milan trying to reclaim his spot at the top of all the FPHL offensive categories. He came into this game leading the league in assists, and now he already has a 2-point night. Milan with a goal and an assist in this one. Has the Rock Lobsters up 2-0. Can they expand on that lead? Ronan with a right circle shot. Glove save, Hussey. This is looking much more the team that we know and love that had that 10-game win streak before it got snapped last night. Alden over the dot. His fellow number 22 over it as well. Hall will win it over Alden. All the way back, but it's on Lavalliere's net, so no icing. Hussey beaten twice 5-hole in this game, and that's been the difference maker thus far. You wondered how much the allure was going to carry on tonight. Centering pass, Ronan didn't get what he wanted on it. Reller out of the far corner. The score of the Rock Lobsters' most recent hat trick. Great puck movement here. Greco looking for the deflection from Alden. Pad save from Hussey. It's been a period filled with shots thus far. 26 total. 16-10 in favor of the Bobcats, but they are down 2-0. Covering that one up is Hussey. 2:21 to go in this first period. Goals from Virgili and Milan, the difference makers thus far. If you think about it, 2 goals was all that was needed to win the game last night. Those 2 quick goals in the beginning of the second period, and then the empty netter eventually came for the Bobcats to make it 3-0. Could 2 be enough for the Rock Lobsters today? Greco catches Hussey off guard. Greco shot through traffic. Hussey didn't know where the puck was. Russell trying to fend off McHugh, and he does. Opens things up for the goal scorer of the Rock Lobsters first, Virgili. Sent in with some fury by Norwinski off the glass. Klinecki back behind him. Gallant gets the loose puck first on the far side boards. Can't find a teammate with it. Greco with a clever move there. Tried to slap it out of his zone and then ended up backhand out of it the same motion. Virgili breezes through Radchenko going towards the net. Forehand, backhand, forehand. And it's off the side of the netting and out. Greco looking for the deflection from Johnson. Takes a high spill over the crease and into the slot. Russell plays it off of that red board that separates the boards and the glass. Gallant. Much better pace from the Rock Lobsters here. Greco off the shoulder of Hussey. Rock Lobsters make some changes as Gallant keeps this puck deep in the zone. Less than a minute to go. Milan pirouettes into the right circle. Greco wants it. Sends a shot long. Takes a block. Glukaryov picks it up in an advantageous position for Athens. Milan with a centering pass. Brandon Picard wasn't able to get to that puck. Russell this time takes a bounce. Behind in. Picard trying to send it off the gear of Hussey and in. But Hussey covers up. Deborah Greco, mother of Michael Greco, in the chat tonight. Shout out to Michael's Aunt Connie and his Uncle Kevin. Also, Grandma and Grandpa watching tonight. Aunt Connie just loves you, says Deborah. Oh, that's so nice of her. Hope the Greco family is in high spirits, and hopefully Michael can have it Mike's way tonight. Perhaps he can get one on the board himself. Robertson up the right side. Cut out by Hlavak. Sent long. Shinkarik will chase. No icing. Ooh, shot from a close distance from Blue Ridge. The Valieri, just pure reaction there on the effort from Martin. Do we have something boiling over here? Trying to fake dropping the gloves is Justin Daly, who tried to go after Carter Shinkarik. And then when Riley Robertson stands at 6'6", suddenly he's not as tough. Justin Daly at 5'11", thinking I'd much rather fight Carter Shinkarik than Riley Robertson. And hey, I can't blame him. Robertson and Daly barking at each other as they'll both go to the box. Both 2 minutes for roughing for both the number 2 for the Rock Lobsters, Riley Robertson, and the number 13 for the Bobcats, Justin Daly. A hopeful shot goes well wide of the mark, and we are at our first intermission. The good guys are up 2-0. And it's the senior leaders of this team that have made it so. Taking a look at the scoring thus far, Philip Virgili pirouettes from behind the net towards the crease and sticks it 5-hole on Hussey. His power play goal opened up the scoring at 1-0. And then Garrett Milan trying to center a pass, pops one off the shin guard of Hussey and in, putting the Rock Lobsters up 2-0. Those two goals about 2.5 minutes apart. Let's take a quick look at what's going on around the league today. We'll pull up the scores on federalhockey.com. Carolina up 8-1. I think that game has gone final on the Dashers. Motor City Rockers up 2-1 against the Binghamton Black Bears. Is that big winning streak going to go away for Binghamton? Watertown Wolves up 4-2 against Venom HC. Port Huron 1-0 against Danbury. Baton Rouge up 3-0 against the Seawolves. And, of course, we are up 2-0 against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Well, we had a last-minute Coach's Corner recorded today. I had a chance to talk with head coach Steve Martinson. Here's my chat from just this afternoon with head coach Steve Martinson, Coach's Corner.
Voice of the Rock Lobsters, Matt Teenrad here with a special Saturday pregame Coach's Corner. My guest, as always, is head coach Steve Martinson. Both of us are in the hotel, but Coach Marty was nice enough to do it on the video call. Just makes the management of the video element a little bit easier. Well, anyway, Coach, we have two games to talk about, and I'm sure there's different feelings for both games. First, on Wednesday night was the most decisive win we've had against Columbus this season. It felt like the game was won after that 4-goal first period. We've been doing well against the River Dragons as of late, but how good did it feel to really take the bragging rights with that one?
Yeah, well, we needed that. I mean, we were close with them in the standings a month ago, so we needed the 4 games, I guess, that we played against them and had done well. Yeah, that game's a lot more fun to talk about than last night's game, so good that we started out there. Yeah, but a great first period. the difference really between last night and we were just shooting the puck a little better. So we shot the puck really well. We had a lot of pucks going in the net, a lot of traffic to the net. So, yeah, it was a fun game to, it's always nice when you get a big lead in the first, the odds are you're not giving up. I mean, it's hard for a team to come back and score 4 goals when you get a 3-goal lead because it isn't like you're going to stop scoring. So yeah, it's good rivalry too, being, really our number one rivals.
It was Danil Glukaryov who started out the game with its first 2 goals. I remember us talking about Danny if he was going to be able to adapt to the North American game, but that feels way in the past now. I'm actually more curious on your thoughts of Danny's ability to adapt off the ice. Every time I see him, his English is getting better and better, and he had perhaps the most memorable post-game interview of the season after that Columbus win. Can you talk about how Danny's getting along off the ice?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't spend a lot of time, away from the rink with the players. That's maybe something more. He lives with Malik and with Garrett, so he's living with 2 of the veteran guys, and I think they really embraced him and taken him under the wing. They all played together for a while, but yeah, I mean he's done a tremendous job. But even from the very get-go, he was physical and really, I noticed that he liked the battle. He finished his checks. And then the other thing that, that I really noticed is he gets the puck to Garrett. Like he knows, he can carry the puck, but he knows our best puck carrier is Garrett. So he gets the puck to Milan and then he goes to the net and, he makes really good plays. So those 2 really have been, a great combination.
Do you feel like Danny was a really important piece to have when Orca went down? I don't think they're like for like exactly, but maybe similar profiles in the way they play the game.
Yeah, they both. I mean, Orca's probably a little bit more physical. I mean, Orca finishes every check. Orca gets more hits than anybody. But a lot. He plays a lot. He plays against the other team's first line, so he gets a lot of hits in against the other team's best players, and so that line complements each other well. When you're playing head to head, you can do that when you have physical guys, and they're all physical guys. So our first 2 lines, I think, match up well when you're playing, skill against skill because you got guys in every line that hit.
Kason Gallant racked up another power play goal in that game as well. He's one of only 2 FBHL players to log double-digit goals on the power play this season. Is it just the quality of Kason's shot that makes him so dangerous on the man advantage, or is there more to it than that?
Well, he's out there with 5 pretty good players on the man advantage. I mean, our number 1 power play, I mean, is pretty. It's got a lot of talent. It's got a lot of firepower on it. So, yeah, I mean, he's just got a good shot, and he gets open, and he's a gritty guy, and so him, going back to Danny, really when you have a new team like we did, a first-year team, it's hard to get everything that you want because you're, you've got to take what you can get to start. And so really, Gallant and Danny have given us a couple of rookies that, kind of you weren't sure what you're going to get out of them. And, they've turned out to be top players in the league. So those guys have been a big bonus for us. And, they're kind of, one of the reasons that we're doing well. And I had that conversation with Phil, and I talked at the beginning of the year, a lot about Gallant and that, we needed him to be, the goal scorer that he was in college. And so, him and Phil play together basically all year. And they've got a great relationship. Phil's like the older brother, from another mother. So those guys have been a great combination too.
Well, Phil's actually next on my list to talk about. He got in on the fun as well. And while he was on the ice with Orca and Danny for his goal, you talked about it a little bit. It feels like if you've created 2 of the best lines in this league. We've talked a lot about the success of the first line lately with Garrett, Orca, and Danny, but it feels like there's a lot of similarities in what makes those 2 lines good. Can you talk about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not missing anything. You know, they got guys that can carry the puck. They got net front guys. They got guys that finish the checks, and they have great speed. So, you know, they're hard to handle. And you know, unfortunately, last night, you know, we just didn't shoot the puck as well. We had our opportunities, and you know, we had a couple of mistakes. You know, we gave up the 2-on-1 was too easy to play off face off. We just, you know, our forward didn't pick up as the D pinch, which the D's got a pinch on when they're doing the wraparound. So, yeah, I mean, we've got, we've got two lines that can score anytime, and our third line, I think, has its moments. And I mean, they've got to be more consistent. And part of it for them is they get a little bit out of a rhythm because power play and penalty kill. So, but they got to figure out a way to to be ready to go. And I think we can get more out of that line.
You brought something up about the depth guys that we're going to touch on a little bit more in a second, but there's a real dichotomy of feeling after that big win against Columbus and then last night's game, a 3-0 loss against the Blue Ridge Bobcats here in Wytheville, Virginia. It's an end to a couple of runs for the Rock Lobsters. A 10-game win streak comes to an end. Only 2 other teams have achieved that. It also marks the first time the team has been shut out this season. The second period was the important one. 2 goals, 50 seconds apart from the Bobcats. How difficult was it to come back after that start to the middle period?
Well, I mean, we didn't come back. I mean, I don't think we got outplayed, but we got beat. And unfortunately, I mean, I would rather lose that way. The shutout, I mean, I don't really, we just weren't scoring. We weren't finishing it. We weren't shooting the puck very good. And there's about 5 or 6 times that we needed to get more traffic to the net where guys were on the perimeter. And that's, I mean, the big thing that I'm going to talk about tonight is, you don't know how many scoring chances you're going to get, and you can't be behind the net. You can't let the defenseman push you aside. We got to get traffic to the front and, get in the goalie's face. That goalie hasn't played much this year. So, yeah, to me, that was the big thing that we've got to improve on. Like I said, I thought we had plenty of chances. We just shot the puck into them. And that's kind of been our, when we're not scoring a lot, it isn't that we're not getting our chances. We're just not shooting the puck good enough. And or you can say, well, the goalie's having a big night, but I just didn't think that we shot the puck as well as we can.
You brought him up. It's just a crazy story in the other crease for the Bobcats. Gregory Hussey makes his return to their organization. He hasn't played a game in nearly 4 months. We hear it in the sport of hockey a lot, but what do you think about the idea of a team kind of rallying around a goalie, and do you think that's what happened last night?
Well, you can do that short term. I mean, anytime you get a big player or, a big change in the lineup, it's I don't know what they call it from a psychological standpoint. There's a name for it. But you can rise up in the short term. You can't keep that in the long term if the player's out, indefinitely, but you can get your guys to maybe step up and go a little bit above their. You'll never hear me say 110% or 120% to me. You're going all out, or and that's 100%. So, sometimes things go really well, and like that game that we lost in Danville earlier in the year, we didn't get as many scoring chances in this game. We didn't have the post and the pucks off his head, but we had plenty of opportunity to score. And it's one thing that you have to take from this is you got to make sure that when you're in a position to score. You do everything that you can, and that's what I mean. The biggest thing is getting bodies to the front, and when you're in front, some guys do a better job of screening, and we've had guys actually step out of the way, and as if they're going to tip the puck. But I would rather tip with a screen than be on the side of the net and tip without a screen.
I think you have a more level-headed approach during the game than maybe your players do. Do you think it's difficult for players to not try and force things when they're going up against a goalie who's having a good night?
I mean, I guess you could look at that as that gets to be something that maybe they're thinking about, but it doesn't happen that much to us, so it's not something I'm going to dwell on. I mean, we typically score a lot of goals, and I mean, sometimes, and I've said it before, sometimes you run into a hot goalie, and the goalie was, like I said, he was pumped and maybe playing above his normal game, but like I said, I don't think we tested him enough, and we got to learn from that, and you just can't put your skates on and go out, but we traveled the day of the game, so we had a 5-hour bus trip, and we came in the morning and we tried that, and Usually if you get through the first period with that, then you're good to go. But, we had that slow start in the second.
We had the shooting advantage on the night at 36-33, and you've talked about it a little bit, but when you see a number like that, but then a 0 on the scoreboard, what does that tell you about what you need to go and do to make those shooting opportunities a little bit more higher percentage in their chances to score?
Well, that's what I was saying. You've got to, part of it, it sounds kind of, kind of stupid to say you got to shoot the puck better, and we did a lot of little extra shooting this week. And I think it was Tuesday. We really just shot the puck. We did drills that were just shooting and escape and turning with speed drills. So we were just really just shooting the puck. And the reason I was doing that is because, we get a lot of shots and we got to dial it in. And last night we didn't do that, and it cost us the game. When every game we give up only 2 goals, we should be able to do that in every game that we play. So, but that's the way you play the game. You just, like I said, you can't just put your skates on and expect to get your A game.
So much of our success during that 10-game win spell and for nearly all of the season is based on our ability to enter the zone and either set up shop or take the puck to the net. It seemed like they did a good job, Blue Ridge did, at stopping our momentum at the blue line.
Yeah.
What do you...
Yeah, and I thought they did it. They really played hard. They really came back and collapsed. They played all out. They came back and, we're not sneaking up on anybody. They know they're playing with the top team. We're the number 1 winning team percentage-wise, going into the game last night. So they know they got to bring their best game, and they did. And, we didn't bring our best game. And you can win games sometimes when you have a lot of talent and you don't play your best game. But like I said, you're not going to win any games if you're not scoring a goal.
Every team is going to have an off night. If anything, are you glad that this loss in this style came after that 10-game run, so you kind of have an example to point to and on how to recapture that magic?
Yeah, so I'm really just going to talk about tonight with the guys of what we can do to maximize our chances. I'm not gonna stress too much about, one loss and I think we've had 2 losses in maybe 18 games or something. It isn't like, like I said, it isn't like we didn't play bad. It isn't like we didn't compete. We just made a couple of mistakes and, they scored on them and they had a screen and we didn't, our forward got caught going to the point and the other one started to make up for him, but they didn't switch and, the defenseman had too much time with nobody fronting him, and so there was a screen and ended up in the net. So, tonight, we just got to make sure that we approach the game and understand that, we might not get as many scoring chances. They're really competing hard defensively, and we got to make sure that we got traffic in front. Like I said, we got to get to those greasy areas, and we didn't do that. We did it, a lot, but not enough. It wasn't like we weren't doing it at all. It's not like a panic button, but to me, it's an example is you got to take advantage of every opportunity and make sure you give yourself the best chance, to have that puck in the back of the net.
When the top guys get shut down, sometimes you need unexpected heroes, and that feels like kind of what you got in Danville against the Dashers in some of those games. Of course, you want to see your top guys get back on the score sheet tonight, but are you hoping for more of a spark from your depth guys as well?
Well, yeah, and part of it is, who they're playing against. And, we want every line to outplay the line that they're playing against. That's something that we're looking to do, whether it's the first line or the second line or the third line. We feel like our third line is going to be better than the other team's third line, and there's no reason that they can't be on the board. We got guys, and all those guys that have been either top scorers on teams that they came from or have scored goals in this league, and made plays. So there's more pressure on them. I think when the other lines aren't going, they want to contribute and more than just, playing the game. So you're right about that. Getting our depth to contribute when we need them is a key component to winning. And, like I said, we had that in Danville, but, could have used it last night.
I know you well, and you're someone that wants to go and win every game. You don't concern yourself with the storylines. Only the points and the standings matter to you. But with the potential rubber match planned for back home on Sunday night, how important is getting the W in Wytheville tonight?
Well, it's one of the things that you want you want to do. When you lose a game, you bounce back. You don't lose 2 in a row. The top teams never lose 2 in a row. And, it's something that, we haven't, we've got to make sure. I'm going to talk about it, but, we got to make sure we understand. We got to bring our A game tonight. And like I said, there's no excuses. We're not getting off the bus and playing, and everybody's had a good night's sleep, and everybody's, and we had an easy day today. We didn't have a morning skate with 3-3. So we've got to step up and be ready to go tonight.
There hasn't been a ton of games like it this season, but when the first game of a road trip is a loss and you're in the hotel in preparation for the next game, what does your preparation look like? Do you go hit the game film?
I look at video at the game, and if there's something that I want to show guys, I do. If not, I'll talk about things. But tonight I have, I think I've got 7 or 8 clips that I'm going to show the forwards where we could have done more to get to the right place in front. Or, we win the draw and the forward lets their forward rush right out to the point, and that's a frustrating thing because we talk about that all the time, what we're doing off the faceoffs. And I noticed some of them we won clean, and the forward's going to the front of the net, but you got to get a little pick. You got to get a little pick on the guy going before you go to the net, and those are the little things that add up, making the play.
Real quick, we can look ahead. Sunday, a home game, and then the next weekend we welcome Monroe in for a home series, 3 games. How excited with all the games that you've played in Monroe this season to welcome the Moccasins to Aikens Ford Arena?
Yeah, we've got issues with those guys, but it'd be, it's those guys really got to win. They're in trouble to make the playoffs, so they got to come in and every game to them should be important. And so like I said, same with us. We want home ice advantage throughout the playoffs as much as that we can control. So we got to make sure that we keep playing and keep winning.
A picture-perfect first period for the Rock Lobsters. And head coach Steve Martinson will hope that the second verse is the same as the first. They take a 2-0 lead against the Blue Ridge Bobcats into the second period. Philip Virgili with a beautiful pirouette towards the crease of Brendan Hussey on the power play, and then buries it 5-hole. And then Garrett Milan with a centering pass attempt takes a piece of Hussey's equipment and into the back of the net. Right before the first period ended, we saw some intermingling between the two teams and a couple roughing penalties given out. And because of that, we'll have a 4-on-4 to start this second period. Right out of the face-off, Daniel Martin breaks his stick. He has to go back to the bench, and now there's a rogue stick on the ice. Garrett Milan, meanwhile, with a high slot shot. Good save there from Hussey. Skylar asks in the chat, Mateen, I'm genuinely curious how you pronounce your full last name. Also, what is its origin? For those of you who don't know, I go by Mateen Rad on broadcast, but my full name is Mateen Zibanejadrod. And my father is from Iran. Thanks for the question in the chat, Skylar. Offensive zone draw here on the 4-on-4. Milan bounces it to Kolatarsi. Shinkaruk, Glukariov on the right in front of the right circle. Shot gets blocked out by the stick of Martin. Milan has it back, but Martin takes it away from him. Spills past Hlavak. Kolatarsi. Shinkaruk on the right side. Dances out in front of Lavalieri. Glukariov with a beautiful move. Oh, my goodness, what a goal! The Russian stays red hot. What a beautiful move towards Hussey's net and flips it toward the top shelf. Glukariov makes it 3-0. Daniil Glukariov earlier this season had a goal of the year candidate. That might be one that's on his highlight reel as well. And Milan and Shinkaruk on the assist for Glukariov's goal. So a 3-point night for Garrett Milan as he tries to reclaim his spot at the top of the FPHL point standings. Big hit from Virgili behind the net. Left Radchenko reeling. Devin Sanders. Gallant on the right side. Back for Russell. Picture perfect start to this second period for the Rock Lobsters. And Daniil Glukaryov, who scored 2 goals Wednesday. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. That puck had lodged itself between the face and the mask of Norwinski. And that does not feel good. I've never seen anything like that before. Well, play will resume here, and hopefully Norwinski is okay. You're awesome yourself, Skylar. Thanks for participating in the chat. It's one of my favorite things about our broadcast. Shinkarik trying to sweep away the danger. Picard kind of just keeping a hold there of Klinecki. Kolatarsi, an offensive foray for the D-man. Shot from the left side by Orca Weisblatt. Misses wide left. High pass goes all the way towards Lavalliere's net. Justin Daly misses to the right. That one looked almost like a penalty shot, and then a shot from Slagers goes past Lavalliere. Picard behind the net. Great centering pass from Stuckless. Slagers with another missed shot. Both teams back at even strength. Long range shot. Glove save from Hussey. Matt Garcia with a shrug of the shoulders. He wants to get in on this scoring action. Offensive zone draw. Milan's going to go up against the Blue Ridge captain. Milan out here with Alden and Reller. Maybe just what's happening out of that 4-on-4. Milan, backhand feed to Garcia, who dumps it in, takes a piece of the blade of Hussey's stick. Reller made a good read on it, but it's past him. Martin tries to wave the wand at it, trying to cast a spell on it to get that puck down. An icing called here against the Bobcats. Rock Lobsters have already reflected the game from last night here on Saturday. A 3-0 scoreline, which is the same deficit in which they lost the series opening game. If this result stays, it will result in a rubber match tomorrow night at Aikens Ford Arena. Both teams will travel back down to Athens for the third game of this set at Aikens Ford Arena. It's also Claudius's birthday. If you haven't already, make sure that you get your tickets, although I've heard it might be a sold-out night. Bank pass, finds Daly on the left side, steps on the brakes, pirouettes back around, left circle shot. Didn't get a lot of mustard on it. There's some mustard on that, a slapper from Klinecki. And somehow Lavalliere gets that one in the mitt. Blue Ridge looking for an answer. Perhaps their solution can come on this offensive zone draw. Klinecki over at Milan on the other side. Shinkarik, who's been affectionately being called. Uh-oh, centering pass. Did that one go in? It all happened so fast. I think that one went off the crossbar of Lavaliere's net, a very, very short distance from McHugh for that puck to traverse. My first instinct was that puck was in, but nobody on the ice seems too convinced. Blue Ridge face-off win. Klinecki sends it deeper into the zone. Good check there by Shinkarik. And he eventually bats it out. Radchenko sticks it back in. Takes a check from Robertson. Shinkarik sweeps it around the end boards and a big hit on Shinkarik. He's slow to get up. Centering pass, another miss from the Bobcats and Nicholas McHugh. Shinkarik wanting a little bit of revenge on some physical play. And that's what's going to draw the penalty? Hussey to the bench. Still no Rock Lobster touch, and Radchenko loads up a slapper. Misses high. Looks like the Bobcats are heading to their first power play. If the Rock Lobsters are able to get a touch of the puck, Weisblatt eventually does. And we have our first Leslie Jones Law penalty kill of the night.
Number
14 is going to the box. That's Captain and Carter Fantastic. His new last name. Everything else has been perfect going for the Rock Lobsters thus far. Let's see how the penalty kill looks. Malik Johnson. Great defensive play there. If he could turn around and find Virgili, and he does. Hussey makes a play on it, but he slaps it right at Virgili. At the very least, some good time off here, but a short-handed goal! Philip Virgili with his second of the game. What tenaciousness there from Malik Johnson, who centers it and finds Virgili. Who'd have thought that the 4-0 would come on the Blue Ridge power play? We saw those exact Rock Lobsters, Johnson and Virgili, combine on the shorthand in Danville last week. A little bit of deja vu from Danville here for the Rock Lobsters in Wytheville. Greco out of the corner. Hlavak stops it at the line. Sent clear by the Rock Lobsters. Kolatarsi keeping a watchful eye on Devin Sanders. Backhand flip from Hlavak into the corner. McHugh gets it taken off of his stick. Sent long and out of danger's way. 40 seconds to go on the Shinkarik penalty. Andrioli. To his right is Belfay. Really hurting from that one. He doesn't know where he is right now. Meanwhile, on the other side, Milan jousting with Klinecki. Stuckless, left circle shot, saved by Lavaliere. Trying to get a view on the bench of Belfay. He got sent into another dimension by Greco. We go to a commercial break. Rock Lobsters now lead 4-0 after the shorthanded goal from Virgili. Let's see if he can add on and twist the dagger some more.
There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now.
This is it, Rock Lobster fans, 40% off. Don't miss your chance to grab your favorite Rock Lobsters hockey gear before it's gone. Our last call, last chance sale is your final opportunity to score incredible deals on all your must-have apparel, from hoodies to long sleeve and short sleeve tees and more. This is the ultimate sale for diehard fans. Shop now to get your gear before it's too late. I believe you only have 2 more days. Both teams back at even strength. That big hit from Michael Greco that we saw on Austin Belfay, I'm curious if it was a clean hit. No doubt, but Belfay was left reeling. I wonder if someone's going to want a piece of Mike at some point. Centering pass from Reller, never made it to Picard. Hunter Hall, working from the left side. That one took a piece of Lavaliere's stick. Shot through traffic from Slagers. Better pressure here from Blue Ridge. Exchange finds Klinecki. Reller chasing him around. Picard pokes it through Slagers, and then we'll go off for the change. Long pass. Johnson clips it forward for Gallant. Little too heavy of a touch. This time soccer style with a skate of Gallant. Greco raising the stick there on Sanders. Long shift here for Greco. Getting into it with Sanders in the corner. Puck sent long. A shot from the blue line from Radchenko. Maybe someone does want a piece of Greco. Couple of pushes from Devin Sanders. Greco gets ushered back to his bench by one of the officials. Marie Picard or mother of Dominique Rodriguez in the chat. Of course, the news breaking today that Rodriguez loaned out to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. ECHL team in need of a backup. It's been a better spell for Blue Ridge in this portion of the game, but unfortunately for them, it's coming after they are already down 4-0. Milan making life difficult for Daniel Martin. A shot blocked there from Weisblatt that takes a piece of his ankle, and I know his ankle's already been suffering this weekend. Still finds some speed in his legs, takes a hit from Daly. Robertson to Milan. Blue Ridge able to send it the other way. Ronan was going off for the change. Almost ended up in a Blue Ridge breakaway. Milan to Glukarioff. Has a highlight reel goal in this game. Drops it back for Ronan. Spins all the way around. Kolatarsi picks it up in neutral ice. Takes it back to his zone. Banks one off his own bench and in. Went off the cage of Lavaliere's net. Going to be called in icing. Jamie says, is it just me or is the commentator's voice skipping every few seconds? If anyone can confirm to me that they're also having the same problem. Jamie, if you are having that problem, go ahead and refresh for me. I have seen some solutions with that. Sometimes people, all they need is a refresh. Save there from Hussey. He'll freeze, and we go to a commercial break. Rock Lobsters up 4-0. Can the night get even sweeter? We'll see. Coming up after this commercial break.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Sometimes all you need is a refresh, and that feels like what we're getting from the Athens Rock Lobsters tonight. Their 10-game win streak ends last night with a 3-0 loss here in Wytheville, but they look the team that we know and love tonight, a 4-0 lead for them. 9:57 to go in this middle period. Garcia out of the face-off win for the Rock Lobsters. Kolatarsi. That puck never made it to Hussey. Alden behind the net. Reller behind for Alden. Ronan stick, it's all tied up. Garcia picks up a loose one, sends it long. Reller sending Slagers into the wide of the boards. Little 3-on-3 here. Off the glass on Klenecki's effort. Loose out in front. Virgili gets it away. Turnaround pass from Johnson to Gallant. Right onto the blade of the stick of Virgili. Virgili on a hat trick. He scored the Rock Lobsters' first ever hat trick. Puts one off the gear, much similar to Milan did. Klenecki. Centering pass. Wraparound attempt from the new man, Damon Furaseth. Scored his first professional goal in the 3-0 win for the Bobcats yesterday. Puck needs digging out of the corner. Leaks through for Russell. Double pump on the pass. Johnson almost gets it to Gallant. But loose off the stick there of Furaseth. Russell to Johnson. Gets just enough of the pad of Hussey. Valier into his glove. No backing down from Greco against Radchenko. And some more hugging out in front of Lavalier's crease. Nothing serious enough to result in a penalty, but still Michael Greco shouting over at Nicholas McHugh. Both of them Ontario boys. I tell you what, I mean, he says things that I cannot say on the air, but Michael Greco can, he can chirp with the best of them, I'll tell you that much. Offensive zone faceoff, something that the Bobcats have not been able to do anything with so far in this game. Rock Lobsters win the faceoff. A lot of speed the other direction. Glukaryov. Shinkarik. Centering pass towards Weisblatt, who got just a piece of it, but nothing more. Milan puts a stop on that one. Toe drag. Weisblatt got caught flat-footed as he tried to keep his foot on the blue line to remain onside. Glukaryov into Weisblatt. Takes a check from Belfay. Pardon me, that's actually Ernst. I don't know if we've seen Belfay since he took that big hit from Greco. Going to be another icing against Blue Ridge. Face-off will get sent the length of the ice. Chance for us to thank some more sponsors. Aegis Trust Company, De Palma's Italian Cafe, Leslie Jones Law, the sponsor of our penalty kill, Porterhouse Grill, Farm Burger, Fox's Pizza, and 23 Design. Slapper from Kolatarsi out of the face-off, off the pad and into the end boards. Alden surrounded by two in the corner, and Martin finishes the job of edging Alden out. Garcia. Kolatarsi looking like he's challenging Andrioli here. It's all spilling out into the corner where we don't have a great view. Kolatarsi's helmet is off. Andrioli has fought an Athens Rock Lobster this year. It was Carson Andrioli. Rather, it was Justin Portillo. Clock is still running here in the building. And right now it looks like it's only Andrioli who's getting taken to the box. Much to the chagrin of the Bobcat fans here, Kolatarsi escapes the scene of the crime. 2-minute roughing minor for Andrioli. And the Rock Lobsters heading back to the Paloma Park power play. Rock Lobsters have already earned $3 tacos for fans at Paloma Park for 24 hours, available only through the FanSaves app. It's one of many reasons why you need to get that app on your phone. Take a look at the five-man unit here for the Rock Lobsters. Going up against four, it's Kaysen Gallant, Philip Virgili, Daniil Glukaryov, Garrett Milan, and, of course, the quarterback, Carter Shinkarik. It's going to be an interesting 3 stars tonight, that's for sure. The referee's talking with head coach Wojtek Zimleka. He wants an explanation on the one penalty being called instead of the two. One in Kolatarsi to also get adjudicated towards the box. Shinkarik. Face-off win from Milan. Gallant, Mr. PPG, the Red Deer Rocket. Can he get in on the scoring fund? Virgili looking for the hat trick, though. Milan loads up a shot, catches Hussey up high. Glukarov tries to follow up the rebound, whiffs on it. Shinkarik stops it at the line, sends it up the end boards. Eventually reaches Milan. Stopping the flow of things for a second was Sleegers. Shinkarik with another break at the line. Virgili to Milan. Exchanging places from the right circle to behind the net. Shinkarik. Gallant loading up to the left, but passes it back to Captain Fantastic. Gallant one-time pass towards Milan, banks off the near side boards. Sleegers surrounded by both Virgili and Milan. Milan trying to get that stick in there and shake that puck loose, which he does. Milan. Virgili. Similar area from where he scored, but then Milan finds the net for his second of the night. It's going from bad to worse for the Blue Ridge fans as Garrett Milan becomes the second Rock Lobster on a brace tonight. Super Milan just passes that one past Hussey, and it's now 5-0. Carter Shinkarik has been affectionately known here as Carter Shinkaruk in the Hitachi Energy Arena. Lavalier. Ooh, that one spills past Martin. Malik Johnson trying to keep the Bobcats on their heels. Picard pushes it in. Rock Lobsters not going full press. Andrioli. Centering pass. It was a beauty of an effort, but no one was there to send one to Lavalier. Another centering pass, but this time Picard swats it away. That went off the bar. Radchenko, a shot somewhat out of nothing. Two players on hat tricks for the Rock Lobsters, Virgili and Milan. It might be a race between those two. Rock Lobsters will hope to take this win onto the bus and race back to Athens, where we'll have the rubber match between these two teams tomorrow night at 7:05. If you can't make it in the building, make sure you stay tuned here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Then we see a slapper from Devin Sanders and another save from Lavalier. That's his 27th of the night. Long-range effort. Took a deflection before it reached the Rock Lobster goaltender. That one spills past Lavalier. Norwinski. Hlavak. Pass out to the right. Missed shot from Radchenko. Big man, the Belarusian at 6'6". Best spell for the Bobcats comes to an end through Brandon Reller, who breezes to the net but can't get the shot off on Hussey. Works his way to the slot. Pad save from Hussey on the shot by Reller. 2-on-1, 3-on-1 developing for the Bobcats, and they find the net for the first time tonight. Shutout attempt ends for the Rock Lobsters as Nicholas McHugh is now on double digits for goals on the season. A good shot from the right side from McHugh to tickle the twine past Lavalier. But is it too little too late for this Bobcat team? We heard how declarative Steve Martinson was in the coach's corner. We will not lose 2 in a row. There's still a lot of game left, though, for the Bobcats to try and make some magic happen of their own. Glukarioff, can he become the third to go on 2 goals? Another swift move from the Russian towards Hussey. But a good blocker save from the netminder of the Bobcats. Ooh, Shinkarik looking silky. Bounces off the end boards. Around, stopped by Glukarioff. Sent the other way in the slot by Slagers. A lot of numbers for the Rock Lobsters going the other way. Weisblatt drops it to Glukarioff, looking for a tip at the other side for Milan. Could have been his hat trick goal. Pass to Martin out on the left side. Probably should have shot there, but was looking for the extra pass. Milan's pass, rather Shinkarik's pass, gets cut out. Malik Johnson with a good move at the line. Gets that stick up in on Hurst. A spill between 2, Johnson and Ernst, right in front of the Blue Ridge bench. And here we go with a minute to play.
1 minute left in the second period.
Virgili sweeping through the center of the ice. Still Virgili. Almost fell favorably for Gallant. Johnson got caught up high and off the puck. And then Lavalier lets one go between the legs. Devin Sanders goes 5-hole. And we're one step closer to having a potential game here. Devin Sanders, a very, very impressive young man, a 22-year-old who came into the weekend leading the Bobcats in every offensive category. Kolatarski down to a knee to stop that puck with his hand. And here comes Sanders again, but right into the glove of Lavalier. Horn will sound before the puck is frozen, so we go to the second intermission with a 5-2 Rock Lobster lead. Let's take you through how this one went, because it was an eventful one. 5 goals scored between these two teams. Daniil Glukarioff with another highlight reel goal to add to his collection. Just a beautiful move for him to get towards Hussey's net 39 seconds into the second period. And then Philip Virgili and Malik Johnson combined shorthanded. Once again, a beautiful centering pass out of the quarter. Johnson to Virgili, finished off by the Swede for his second of the night. Speaking of second goals of the night, Garrett Milan passes it past Hussey for his second. But then 2 unanswered goals for the Bobcats, trying to make this a game going into the third period. Goals from Nicholas McHugh and Devin Sanders. Well, I've said it once and I'll say it again. One of my favorite interviews that I've done thus far this season, and there's already been a lot of them, but Orca Weisblatt, such a unique story, such a unique person, and one of the nicest guys in the FPHL. Here's my chat with Orca Weisblatt from this last week.
Voice of the Rock Lobsters, Mattine Rad, back with another episode of Lobster Tales here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. My guest today is a winger from Calgary, and his name is Orca Weisblatt. Orca, thanks so much for joining me today, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Listen, I wanted to get started with your season so far, and you've contributed at a high level in your time on the ice with the Rock Lobsters this season. Watching you as much as I have, you have such an all-around game, and you don't have a lot of chinks in your armor. No one knows your game as much as you. How would you describe your style of play?
Yeah, I think, I play a little bit of a different game than most people. I like to kind of slow the game down just a little bit. I like to think the game very, very well. I think for me, I'm more of a playmaker. So obviously, when you're playing with Millsy and Danny there, they can put the puck in the net. So it's fun for me to, be creative with my play style.
It's been so great to see you back on the ice after suffering an injury earlier on in the year against Monroe. Can you talk about the injury you sustained and what the recovery process looked like for you after surgery?
Yeah, for me, that sucked, obviously. Last year I broke my ankle, so, 2 injuries back to back is never fun. Wrist is feeling good. Obviously it was a process to get, the strength back and whatnot. But I feel good. With it being your top hand, you don't realize how much, you use your wrist and whatnot, but, I've adjusted to it and I feel good.
You had a difficult injury last season, as you just mentioned as well, when you were with the Pensacola Ice Flyers in the SP. I know it seems like those days are behind you with, the injury this year and the injury last year, but, how did you handle things and how frustrating was it since you left the WHL? Because it seems like it's been very sort of start-stop for you.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into it. Stopped playing for about 3 years. Just I had some family issues back home and whatnot, so I had to take care of some of that stuff. And then 4 games in last year, snapped my ankle. That's no fun too. So for me, I'm just trying to stay healthy, take care of my body. Making sure that I show up every day in practice or in games, just to keep my body healthy enough to not be hurt or, not take any risk on any injuries or whatnot. I take advantage of Chris quite a bit. So usually in the training room, kind of getting my body worked on after every game or after every practice, just so I don't get back into those injuries.
There's no doubt to me, Oryx, you have one of the most interesting stories in all of hockey. And the heroine of that story is your mother, Kim. For those who may be unaware, you grew up a coda or a child of a deaf adult, and she never let any of that get in the way of providing for you or your 4 siblings. What are your favorite qualities about your mother, and what inspires you about how she brought you, your brothers, and your sister up?
Yeah, one of a kind. Coolest mom out there. More than just, her personality. She's such a caring mom. She puts everything into, making us happy. She puts us first. She's a hero for sure. She, we couldn't be doing what we were, what we do now without her. So that's kind of, one of the reasons why I call her a couple times a day just to check in, see how she's doing and whatnot. But yeah, she's put aside everything, just to make sure that we're all taken care of, on the ice or off the ice. Such a caring mom, and yeah, she's the best.
I think being a child of a deaf adult, it's difficult for people like me who had an upbringing with hearing parents to kind of put myself in those kinds of shoes. I was curious, what was your first communications as a baby like? Did you happen to remember what your first signed word was? And then do you remember what your first spoken word was?
I think my first signed one was milk. So just milk. I think that was pretty easy for me, but I learned sign language before I even learned English. And all the boys, the way that we learned English was, watching TV. Obviously, our parents can't speak. So for us, it's kind of just TV. It's a little bit different than most kids out there, but we found a way to kind of get through it, and yeah.
It's a topic that I've also talked about with your brother, Ocean, who also played for the team this year. He experienced all the same nuances, but just a little bit before you did. How helpful was it to have someone who was hearing able to guide you through the early stages of a life that not many other people know the ins and outs of?
You're talking about Ocean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He was the biggest role model. He was kind of like the dad in the family. Obviously, my parents split up while we were pretty young. I think I was 10, 11. And Osh was kind of, that dad role model of the family, kind of just protecting us and whatnot. Super, super protective brother. But, at the end of the day, not many people have that. So I'm super thankful for that. It was kind of just, to be honest with you, when we were younger, it was kind of just him and my mom. Kind of just, helping out with the family, making sure everything's taken care of. If something goes down, Osh is usually there. Translating with my mom at, a school or the grocery store, wherever. My mom's, she's good with that stuff. But for us, we're hearing, so we're always trying to kind of get in there and make sure that we can help out as much as we can. But, yeah, Osh was usually that, that one guy who took everything on his shoulders and kind of just, he was a dad role model.
For those who haven't watched it, there's a great Hometown Heroes segment, little 5-6 minute segment about you and your family. And something that I saw in that was that your mother put you and your brothers in sports to expand your ability to communicate and socialize. Do you believe that had its intended effect? And what else do you think sports taught you outside of the household?
Yeah, I think sports just gives me confidence. Without sports, I really don't know what, I'd be doing. I played so many different sports growing up: baseball, soccer, hockey, football, kind of just everything. And, for me, I feel like you make the best friends from playing sports. All my best buddies I've played with or played against. Just kind of that culture of, people who play sports, you kind of get that lingo or whatnot. So for me, obviously it was huge. Not really sure what I'd be doing without, playing hockey or, back home, I usually play softball in the summertime and, a lot of golf and whatnot. But sports is, don't know what I'd be doing without it.
A large portion of the hockey community is familiar with the Wise Black Boys. You, Ocean, your brother Ozzy, and we'll talk more about him, and also Oasis. 4 brothers that all play hockey, but someone who gets lost in the mix, and probably a lot of that has to do with her young age, is your sister Oceania. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Oceania.
Yeah.
Has she shown some of the same interest in sports, or maybe even hockey specifically?
She hates it. She hates it. She had to, go to the rink and watch all 4 boys play her entire life, so she hates it. Well, but she's a sporty girl though. She's a very active girl. She's more into like horseback riding and all that kind of stuff. Hockey's the no-go for her though. She'll never strap on the boots. She'll never hockey's not for her, but she loves horses. She loves all that kind of stuff. It's more her. She's more of a girly, obviously, 4 boys. We're pretty protective too, so I don't think she'll be finding a boyfriend anytime soon.
I was going to say 4 hockey playing brothers. She must be the safest girl in Calgary, huh?
Yeah, you should. My little brother Oasis, he's a little Rottweiler in our family. He's the obviously just because he's closest to her age, but it's fun. It's we got such a fun family. Summertime's so much fun. I just saw my mom for the first time in a year and a half, obviously, when I went down to go see Oz. And that was just the best thing ever. She's in London, Ontario right now. So summertimes I spend it in usually in Calgary or Vancouver. So I don't get to spend too much time with her. She moved out, I think, 2 years ago. So seeing her for the first time was awesome.
When I first met you and your brother Ocean, and knowing kind of the trend among your name, I mean, obviously Ozzy bucks that trend, but Oceana, Ocean, Orca, Oasis, all sort of, let's say nautical themed names. What was the inspiration from your mother to go that route? Do you know?
I think she's just she's big time hippie. We were born in Bowen Island. So basically it's just kind of just right off of Vancouver. It's just a little island. We had a house kind of just on the ocean. So for me, apparently she's seen, orca whales all the time. So that's why she named me Orca. Ocean was just because of the ocean. Ozzy, I have no idea. I think Ozzy Osbourne, the singer. Oasis, no idea. And then Oceana is just spelt, it's ocean with an I and an A at the end. So not really sure what the background from that is, but I get that question quite a bit and I just never know how to answer it.
That brings us to the next topic, which is your brother Ozzy, who made his NHL debut with the Nashville Predators right at the start of the new year. No doubt there's a great feeling in your heart seeing a Weisblatt make it to the show, but I want to know if it feels like a fruition of everyone's hard work, from your mom to you and Ocean, who kind of paved the way, or do you view it as something that he accomplished completely on his own?
I think it was just him. Obviously growing up, we trained so hard together, but at the end of the day, the way that guy works is just, it's night and day. Just, it's so special to see how hard that guy trains. Summertime, he's in the gym. If he's not in the gym, he's taking care of his body. If he's always doing something. So, as much as I want to take credit, it's all his hard work and, his passion for the game. And, when you love something so much, you don't really like to do anything else. And, that's kind of him. He just hockey. So, couldn't be more proud for him.
I saw the behind the scenes footage of the post game after his NHL debut, and he gets recognized by Steven Stamkos. Did you get a chance to ask him what that was like? Because Stammer must be someone that I'm sure you and your brothers all looked up to as young guys.
Yeah, not even just him. I spent a little bit of time with a couple of those Nashville guys, and so many good guys. Stammer, that was pretty cool. Obviously, I talked to him a little bit after that, and he said that was probably the coolest moment, he's ever been a part of. But there's probably 6-7 great leaders on that team. So for him to just be in that locker room, he feels so special, and he's got all the help that he needs around him. And then the way that guy is he's not shy to kind of, ask for questions. He's not shy on, how can I do this better? How can I do this? And he's always, I think he's close enough with those guys where, he's open to kind of having those conversations on, how he can help his game. But yeah, that was a really, really cool moment.
You were coming off the last couple of weeks of your injury when you went back home to go watch Ozzy play. How much of that was a boost in your engine to really want to get back going on the ice and getting back to doing what you love?
Yeah. I mean, I was off for about 2 months. So, watching our games, it's, I love watching our games. That's why, I was on the bench for a little bit, just to kind of, read how other players are playing, read on, how some of the players on our team are playing and how I can kind of, try and make myself, put an impact on myself on, how I can improve myself out there and, what we need as a team and whatnot. So that was definitely put some fire in the engine. Obviously first game back, I was so pumped to even play, and, not even just coming back for the first game, but in Monroe, like that's where I got hurt. So, I was just fired up. I wanted to play good. I wanted to help the team win. That was definitely an impact on, how I performed the first game.
Something that I'm sure also added some gas to your tank back in the day was playing against your brothers back in the WHL days. Is it difficult not to focus on what they're doing on the ice when you're playing against them and focus on yourself, or are you wanting to get the better of your flesh and blood?
It's a good question. So Ozzy and Oasis were a little bit different. I grew up kind of just playing with Ocean most of my life. Obviously, he's a year older than me, so I was always kind of up a level playing with them. Playing against Ozzy, that was super, super cool. So that was, Ozzy and me are a little bit more competitive just because he's a little bit younger than me. So I was kind of giving it to him that game. Oasis, on the other hand, he's my little baby brother. So I was a little scared to kind of, go hard on him. Not scared, but, I wanted to make sure that he looked good too. So obviously completely different playing Oasis and Ozzy. Ozzy was a little bit more physical on, he can take it. Now Oasis, he's a beast. He fights, he scores goals, makes plays. He's, I wouldn't fight him now. So I'm glad I went easy on him when I played him.
No doubt, can't wait to see what becomes of your younger brothers' hockey careers that are still blossoming. Back to your career, and it was interesting that the first line that Coach Martinson ever puts out is a combination of you, Garrett Milan, and Malik Johnson, three guys that all know each other from the Pensy days. How poetic did it feel to get on the ice with this new team, but have two guys that you know very well in the center and the other side of you?
Yeah, I mean, two great hockey players. Different hockey players, but, start with Mallow. Mallow is he's such a good hockey player. He might not be flashy, but he does everything right. He works so hard. Smart hockey player too. Extremely physical, not a player you kind of want to play against. Millsy, super, super skilled. Fun playing with him. Me and him kind of, especially now we're on a line, that chemistry that we have, it's pretty good, especially when we're both kind of buzzing some games. I don't feel my best, but, I try to contribute somehow. But Millsy, he's such a complete hockey player as well, where, I trust him when I'm, deep in the zone, where he's a little bit back, where, if I make a mistake, I know that he's going to cover me, or vice versa. If he makes a mistake, I try and cover him. Two great hockey players, though.
Well, Orca, talking to you about you and your story has been one of my favorite chats of the year thus far. Thanks so much for taking the time, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
A 5-2 score here at Hitachi Energy Arena, getting ready for 20 minutes on the board. And 5 total goals scored in that middle period, but 2 unanswered from the Bobcats as they try to make things interesting going into the final 20. 2 Rock Lobsters on hat tricks. Garrett Milan and Philip Virgili will both try and get their third of the night, but I doubt anybody from this crowd is going to be tossing their cap out onto the ice. Rock Lobsters have been excellent tonight. We're near perfect until those 2 late goals in the second period. And underway we are in the third. Bank pass off the near boards. You can hear the thump from up here. Virgili back to Greco. Johnson. Incisive pass almost finds Gallant. Played down with the glove of Sanders. Greco. Good physicality from him, which is his middle name. Gallant with a skate edge. Sent in long by McHugh. Virgili trying to skate away from pressure, but takes a big hit from Furisev. Virgili looking no worse from where. Here he is. Off his skate and dumps it in. Will change. Ooh, a shot from around the blue line from Hlavak. Lavalier had a clear sight path on that one. Robertson breezing through Daly. Dumps it in. Hlavak picks it up. Tape-to-tape pass for Daly. Daly works his way into the zone. Good stick work from Robertson to deprive him of any real scoring opportunity. J-Rex asks in the chat, do they do interviews like that with all the players? What a fascinating origin story for Orca. Well, Jay, we have new Lobster Tales about every week or so. You could check out our YouTube channel here to see if there's anyone that you like. Alden with a great move toward the net. Wow, still looking for his first goal as a Rock Lobster, and that was as good an opportunity as any. Glukaryov off the glass, played right down into the midsection of Slagers. He uses his glove to calm the momentum of that biscuit down. Dumped into the far corner. Garcia pushing and shoving with Hunter Hall. Picard. Alden pokes it to the far end. Picard! Shot deflected onto the near side glass. Kolatarsi. Dumped in hard off the inboards. Hussey trying to make a play on it. Great poke check from Russell on the far side. Ronan to Picard, two Brandons combined. Rather, it's Brendan and Brandon as the Raisin Brand line is on right now. Good glove save from Hussey on that shot. No problem, Jay. Thank you for asking questions. We love that in the chat. And, of course, we love when anyone is wanting to know more about our players and more about what we do here on the broadcast. Johnson pushing and shoving there with Norwinski. And unfortunately, I don't think we've seen Belfay. He took that big hit in the second from Greco. Norwinski out from behind his goaltender's net. Something else that's interesting, and I'm not sure, I'm looking out on their bench, I'm not seeing any other goaltender there. Marshall Murphy, I believe, hurt himself during warm-ups, so no backup goaltender on the night for the Bobcats. Puck deflected into the netting, so the clock will stop, but very, very interesting if anything happens to Gregory Hussey late on in this game. And mind you, they just got, I don't want to say got rid of two goaltenders because they were taken by SPHL teams, but two goaltenders moving on and two goaltenders brought in, but I hope that's not a long-term injury for Marshall Murphy. Glove save from Lavalier. I don't think I've had a last name that has caused me so much fear as Willie Lavalier, the goaltender for the Rock Lobsters. I've even asked him multiple times at this point how he says his last name, and I feel like I still say it 5 different ways during the broadcast. Behind from Daly, that opened things up for the Blue Ridge captain, Daniel Martin, to unload a shot. Sends Glukaryov with speed the other way. Milan trying to bury his hat trick. Good save there from Hussey. Back and forth we go. Shinkarik, good evasion there to avoid the hit from Daly. Daly trying to chase the mouse like he's a Bobcat himself, but Shinkarik, one of the smartest critters around, that's for sure. Alden steps on the brakes. Reller with speed. Brandon Reller riffs on the shot in the slot, but he gets hit. I think he got slashed. He's holding that hand. Rock Lobsters going back to the power play. We're going to go to a commercial break here. Rock Lobsters still lead 5-2. No goal scored just yet in the third period. Athens will try to change that on the upcoming quadruple P.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always.
Back here in the third period, Rock Lobsters 5-2, trying to expand on that here on the Paloma Park power play. Shinkarik has to take it out of the zone, though. Michael Williamson, very, very close in the chat. The emphasis actually on Carr, I believe. Glukaryov? Yeah, Glukaryov. Milan with speed, still looking for the Hattie, but so is Virgili, both on this power play unit. Shinkarik, Weisblatt on the left. Back to Captain Fantastic, who quarterbacks his power play. Glukaryov right in the center of everything. Milan tries to settle it with a skate, but then it's sent long by Blue Ridge. Shinkarik, so good at gathering speed from behind his goaltender's net. But according to the linesman there, an early step from Shinkarik. And the Rock Lobsters called for an offside. Face-off going to happen right in front of the Blue Ridge bench. Still this first unit out for Steve Martinson. Shinkarik sends it in. Takes a piece of the blade of Hussey's stick. Blue Ridge with a chance to shave some more seconds off, but they can't turn defense into offense shorthanded. Shinkarik puts the step out on that fire. Check in behind there. Virgili slow to get up, but he's back to his feet. Another clearance there from the Bobcats. And 35 seconds left on this Paloma Park power play for the Rock Lobsters. Kolatarsi through the center of the ice. Johnson gets a touch. Gallant, clever, no look, right to the center of the ice for Picard. A lot of shooters on this second unit. Kolatarsi. Johnson spills in behind him. Checks Slagers for his efforts, but once again the Bobcats get it clear, and that will end this Rock Lobster power play. Nothing going really for the Rock Lobsters on that power play. Here's Gallant, still the second unit on here. Hussey has it, and he will freeze it. Make sure you stay tuned after this game. We're going to name our 3 stars of the night. Going to be interesting. I think it's going to be kind of a race to see who's going to be able to fit in, because a lot of contributors already in this game. Blue Ridge wins the draw. Hunter Hall on the far side. Blue Ridge playing with fire a little bit out of their own zone, but they're able to get it out. Stuckless tries to dump it in. It catches that red corner right past the Rock Lobster bench and out of play. Face-off will happen right in the center of Hitachi Energy Arena. Some speed out of that face-off win. Hit Slagers in the chest. Sends it in. Falls for Lavalier, who freezes once again. Believe it or not, shots on goal in favor of the Bobcats, 35-31. Garcia slaps it off the end boards, but it's picked up by Hunter Hall. Here comes Alden, his number 22 counterpart. Alden with speed, trying everything he can to poke it towards the path of Reller. Hunter Alden, such a hard-working guy. Steve Martinson describing him as one of his glue players, and then Hunter Hall stings the glove of Lavalier. Left circle centering pass. Hit a Rock Lobster first. That one almost caught Ronan up high as he backed away from it. The Bobcats trying to send everything into the slot. Look at the perniciousness there of Hunter Alden. Able to back his guy using his hind end into the far boards. Lavalier leaves it for Greco. Up the right side. Ooh, clever one-touch pass from Glukarioff. Here comes Milan. Milan toe drag to Weisblatt. Back in behind for Super Milan. Shinkarik tries to go top shelf, just narrowly misses. Back in by Robertson. Glukarioff with a pass to Shinkarik right into the center of the chest of Hussey. Exactly 11 seconds left in regulation here. With a win here tonight, the Rock Lobsters will go to 80 points on the year. Would be only the third team in the FBHL to reach that mark. This season, that is. Shinkarik plays such an evasive game, does Carter Shinkarik. Some guys are just able to kind of feel where the pressure is coming from and then go the opposite direction without even looking where their guy is. Blue Ridge through the center of the ice. Andrioli takes it in. Cut out from him by Glukarioff. Shinkarik. Weisblatt to Glukarioff. Perfect pad save from Hussey. Got to the right spot at the right time. Otherwise, the Rock Lobsters were going up 6-2. Slapper from Radchenko there. Took a piece of Shinkarik's stick. Glukarioff, patient at the line. Dumps it into the corner, and he'll go off for the change. Gallant trying everything he's worth to win that puck back, but here comes Devin Sanders. Gathered speed, potentially for the wraparound, but saw the pass late towards McHugh, who couldn't direct it past Lavalier. Michael Greco sends a loose puck on its way. Stopped at the line by Radchenko. Malik Johnson steps through him. Johnson using his speed to get in on Hussey. And then an open net for Gallant. All it needed to do was be touched in. Virgili tries a shot from the slot. Takes a big hit for his efforts. Virgili still. Puck loose out in front. Chaos around Hussey's net. And then Virgili getting into it with McHugh. On the other side, Radchenko with a shot that gets blocked from a short distance. 2-on-1 developing for the Rock Lobsters. Picard and Johnson. Picard with a shot into the quads of Hussey. Beautiful play all around, no matter which way you cut it. Great puck movement for the Rock Lobsters, but a great job from the Bobcats to keep this scoreline at what it is. We go to a commercial break. Is there more chaos in this game left? We'll find out.
This thing on? Perfect.
Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Your time is truly running out, Crustacean Nation. 40% off. Don't miss your chance to grab your favorite Rock Lobsters hockey gear before it's gone. Our last call, last chance sale, your final opportunity to score incredible deals, and it ends on February 24th, just 2 days from now. Lobsters trying to twist the knife, dig the claw deeper into the vein of the Bobcats. Belfay is back in play here, which is great to see. Looked like a very apparent head injury at one point in this game. Very narrow miss there, turnaround shot. It was Nicholas Stuckless with the initial effort, but the goal eventually comes. One-time flip over Lavalier from Klinecki. And the man from Czechia brings the Bobcats to within 2. Things getting a little nervy for Athens. 3 unanswered goals for the Bobcats. Slagers and Belfay with the assist. So how about Belfay coming back and making an impact after he took a heavy impact from Greco in his noggin earlier on in this game. Freeze from Lavalier, much less willing to take any chances there. Face-off will happen right out in front of Lavi. Referees look like they're separating something here. Not sure which member of the Athens team Daly's trying to pick something with. I believe he was the one that was trying to fight Carter Shinkarik earlier, and then Riley Robertson came around and he was like, maybe fighting is not something I want to do today. Weisblatt breezing around. Milan to Glukoryov. We've asked the question a lot tonight, will we see a hat trick in this one? Milan on 2 goals. Virgili on 2 goals. Glukoryov trying to get on 2 goals. No offside, says the official. Some of the fans not so convinced. Garrett Milan with a one-timer brought down with the glove of Glukoryov. Great feed there from Weisblatt on the potential goal from Milan. And then Robertson with an effort that gets deflected by the Rock Lobster number 10. Martin stomps on the brakes in the right circle. Andrioli. Loose touch from him, and Milan able to send it towards the net of Hussey. Never made it as far as an icing. McHugh Drops it back for Sanders. He scored one in this one. Good poke check from Russell. Just slaps it off the end boards for himself. Virgili with speed. He's one of the ones that's on two, tries to wrap around, but lost a handle. Gallant able to kick it. Johnson, centering pass towards Virgili, gets cut out. Colatarsi with a quick turnaround one-timer. Virgili, Gallant, looking for an option. Finds one in the Swede, but it gets past Virgili. Puck sent deep. Hussey wants the icing, and he'll get the icing. For the first time since the Rock Lobsters had taken that 5-0 lead, these Bobcat fans smelling that there could be a game to be entertained by and to cheer their team on for. Rock Lobsters need to be careful to not add fuel onto the Hitachi Energy fire and keep them at this scoreline, if not add some more goals of their own. Is it going to come here for Alden? Slapper, one-timer for Alden. He's still on the search for goal number 1. Sent deep in. Johnson. Picard out of the corner, but straight to a Bobcat. Shinkarik puts a stop to that one. Picard sweeps it back to the end boards from the near side. Slagers. Alden with a centering pass. Ronan's shot gets blocked out. Garcia. Rest of his team got back to the neutral zone to stop the offside from happening. Garcia. Blue Ridge pulled the pressure there late. An expansive foray here from Matthew Ernst. Lukarioff gets it back, but not out. Turnaround one-timer. Ernst deflected off his own player wide. Ernst with another shot. Andrioli didn't drop favorably in enough time for him. Long shot from Hlavak. Milan sprawled out. And fans want a tripping penalty called on one of the Rock Lobsters' senior leaders. Lukarioff able to stop Radchenko. A little bit of European connection there. The Russian against the Belarusian. Robertson. Banker pass. Weisblatt. Radchenko didn't step in enough time. Puck still loose out for a Rock Lobster to make something happen with. Lukarioff with a backhand shove saved by Hussey. Great centering pass from Robertson out of the corner. Lukarioff didn't get a touch to it. Blue Ridge with numbers, a pad save on the high slot shot from Furisev. Colatarsi battling with Sanders at the end boards. Weisblatt chops it up. Fans want another tripping call as they believed Robertson's stick got caught up in the skates of Sanders. Blue Ridge faithful not happy with the officiating thus far tonight. Greco pokes it up the right for Johnson. Non-favorable chance for the referees starting to occur here at Hitachi Energy Arena. Less than 3 minutes to play. Gallant Backhand pass just misses Alden. We go to our last media timeout of this one. The Rock Lobsters trying to close out what would be a 5-3 win at this point. Does either team have something to say late on? We'll find out after this commercial break.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living.
A reminder that this broadcast of the Athens Rock Lobsters is brought to you by Piedmont Athens Regional. Real change lives here. Akins Ford is the largest Ford dealership in Georgia. If you're going to trust anyone, why not trust the biggest and the best? Stanfield Air Systems, we've spent the last 50 years fulfilling Athens' HVAC needs. First American Bacon Trust, they're the specialist, and they specialize in you. And Terrapin Beer Company, do the right thing always. Just 2:42 to go here. But the Bobcats have made things interesting with 3 unanswered goals. Wonder if at any point they're thinking about pulling the goaltender, especially down 2. This would be about the time that something like that would happen. Russell stutter step to behind Valier's crease. That one deflected off of Russell, who was sprawled out in the slot. Hussey glancing over at his bench. He decided not to leave at the right time because Johnson would have potentially had an open net to shoot at. But great defensive work there from Matthew Ernst, a native of Orlando, Florida. And finally, these fans will get the call that they've so desperately been searching for. Very, very interesting here. 2 minutes on the clock for regulation. And 2 minutes for Picard on the trip. Rock Lobsters back to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. They're a repeat offender tonight. Be good, but if you can't be good, you get caught in the penalty box call, Leslie Jones Law. Four-man unit for the Rock Lobsters is Weisblatt, Robertson, Shinkarik, and Milan. Looks like the Bobcats are going to call a timeout here, discuss strategy and tactics before their power play begins. Gives us a chance to thank all of our sponsors. Big thank you to Athens Area Urology, Plumber Pro, Hospitality South, Athens Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Classic City Flats, Harmon Enterprises, Roto-Rooter, Aero Exterminators, Northeast Distributing Company, Aegis Trust Company, De Palma's Italian Cafe, Leslie Jones Law, Porterhouse Grill, Farm Burger, Fox's Pizza, and 23 Design. Without them, this would all not be possible. Carter Shinkarik in a discussion with the referees right on the left near corner of your screen. Lavalier waiting for the action to return to him. And back that action comes. Rock Lobsters need to be unscrupulous here on this final 2 minutes of play. The Bobcats will have the rest of regulation to deal with, and they have also emptied out the net. So 2 extra skaters on the ice for the Bobcats. Milan, turnaround, no look towards the net. But the icing won't come because the Bobcats are on the power play. Hlavak through the center of the ice, turnaround, pirouettes, finds Sanders. Shinkarik gets it out. Milan thinking better of chasing that one. Drop, Andrioli to Sanders. Rock Lobsters trying to win the puck up high, so they have that empty net to shoot out. Weisblatt tries an effort. Took a piece of the body of McHugh. Stuckless sticks it in. Pad save from Lavalier on Stuckless' shot. Milan over the glove of Daly. That little piece that it took of the cloth of Daly's glove took it wide of the net. Less than a minute to play now. Bobcats trying to get within one. Carter Shinkarik hurting from that block shot on Radchenko's effort. Hall, puck loose out in front. Shinkarik into the back of McHugh. Virgili on a hat trick right into the midsection of Hlavak. Virgili starting to apply some pressure late on here. 17 seconds to go. The goal might still happen for the Bobcats, but the comeback will not be complete. Glukoryov with an offside was trying to set up Virgili for the hat trick. That European union of Glukoryov and Virgili, they've combined a couple times this season. And the fans starting to pour out of Hitachi Energy Arena. Hussey back in his net. A 10-game win streak came to an end last night. But does a new 10-game win streak begin tonight for the Rock Lobsters as they take down the Blue Ridge Bobcats 5-3? A really good effort all around for the Bobcats. Took game one against the Rock Lobsters 3-0, but the firepower too much from the Rock Lobsters in game two. Braden Picard and Daly still getting into it after the game has ended here. Both teams converging over center ice. Referees trying to keep control of a game that's already ended. Now, meanwhile, on the far side, Valier and Hussey, the two goaltenders of the night, exchange a hug. The Bobcats will do their salute here, but this game is done. Rock Lobsters with a win. They move to 29-5-2 on the season, good enough for 80 points. Well, the Rock Lobsters probably would have felt like they needed a win for two reasons. Because that win streak comes to an end, and then they want to try and get back to doing what they know and love, and that's scoring goals on opposition after being shut out for the first time this season. Taking a look at how it all went down, the Rock Lobsters wasted no time. They took a 5-0 lead in this game. Philip Virgili with a beautiful move to the net on the power play made it 1-0. Garrett Milan followed it up with a centering pass that took a piece of Hussey's gear and went in past him. Daniil Glukoryov with a beautiful goal. He's so adept at putting the puck in his path as he made his way towards Hussey's net and buried the breakaway. Then Philip Virgili and Malik Johnson combined shorthanded once again. Those two rearing their ugly head for power plays across the nation. And then Garrett Milan put the finishing touches on it from a Rock Lobster perspective, making it 5-0 on the power play as he passed it in past Hussey. But 3 unanswered goals for the Bobcats. Nicholas McHugh, Devin Sanders, and Daniel Klinecki. We'll take a look, and here will be the 23 design 3 stars of the night. We'll see if there was anyone who was particularly impressive points-wise from the Bobcats. No one with more than 1 point on the night for the Bobcats, so all 3 stars will be Athens Rock Lobsters. Star number 3 goes to Carter Shinkarik, 3 assists on the night for him, and that puts him at more than 300 points in his career. Star number 2 goes to Philip Virgili. He was on a hat trick for most of the night, a total of 3 points for him, 2 goals and an assist. But star number 1, he was our impact player of the game. And why was that? Because when your offense does not go the way that it was planned to go in night 1 of the series, they get zeroed on the scoreboard. You look to your offensive leaders, and Garrett Milan is no doubt the offensive leader of this team, and he was the offensive leader tonight. 2 goals and 2 assists, a total of 4 points for Garrett Milan tonight, and he is your 23 design first star of this contest. Let's take a look at the rest of the scores around the Federal Prospects Hockey League here. Loading up here on my scoreboard, and unfortunately for the Motor City Rockers, they were unable to do the unthinkable, and they dropped that contest against the Binghamton Black Bears 7-3. Another sad story in the Dashers as they lose 9-1. A high-scoring game. Watertown Wolves against Venom HC 9-5. Port Huron and the Danbury Hat-Tricks have gone to overtime at 5 apiece. And then Baton Rouge Zydeco beating up on the Mississippi Seawolves 6-1. Your final score here is 5-3. The Rock Lobsters get one back on the Blue Ridge Bobcats, but we are not done with hockey this weekend. Make sure you tune in on the broadcast. Tomorrow night, 7:05, it's Claudius's birthday. If you can't make it in the building, you can join me here on the broadcast. Rock Lobsters with a rubber match against the Blue Ridge Bobcats, but we're doing it on home ice this time. Make sure you're there, or make sure you're here on YouTube. We look forward to seeing you in whichever place we can find you. But that does it for tonight's game. The Rock Lobsters defeat the Blue Ridge Bobcats 5-3. Series evened up at 1 apiece. It all goes to game number 3 tomorrow. Let's see what happens.